conversations about you and I, we've been speaking about Laura Bates's work and her book. You were at an event with Laura a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's a bit of concern really about how, with young boys, particularly the misogyny around about incels and things like that, and how they're getting groomed within,
Yeah.
gaming.
Online environments.
What are your thoughts on that, Linda?
I think it is. I mean, I think, Vicky, just to pick up, if we're about trying to interrupt norms, isn't it, and create safe spaces. I mean, what I'll share is I was actually speaking to a friend last night about this event, and he was going, Linda, I spend every night sitting over the dinner table and I sit talking to them about consent and respect and mutuality and all of this. And he says, and then they go upstairs to their rooms. And he says, and everything that I've done, he says, is kind of blown apart because of what they're exposed to. And it's this online environments that can be really toxic. And Michael, I don't know if you've read Laura Bates. I'm sure many of the people who are here today will potentially have read and seen Laura. It's about how do we, in a way, young men are moving in the online environments where they are being groomed into like male radicalization and really quite toxic ideas within some of these groups that set up online, and this desistance and resistance of young men to actually engage with conversations because they're being fed a very powerful alternative message. And I think, Vicky, you and I spoke about the challenges then to try and even get young men in the room. And, Laura Bates gave an example where she was going in to speak in a mixed environment with young men and young women. And the young men had kind of mobilized together about how they were going to interrupt that session and disrupt it entirely. But actually the young women done a counter mobilization, and they arranged the seating arrangements that it had to be a young man, a young woman, a young man, a young man, a young woman. So they were spaced out as opposed to a group of young men all sitting together and being very dominant. So I think it is about how do we create those spaces, Vicky, that are safe for everybody to be part of, that are safe for women and men to facilitate, but also are safe for young men to open up for some of these really difficult conversations as a counter to some of what is going on in the online world. And if anybody in the chat facility would like to pop any ideas in around that, it's about how do we push back against this kind of growing movement in a way to counter what we're all trying to do.
Yeah.